Welcome to Nova Now, your connection to what's happening in Northern Virginia. I'm your host, Angelique LeBlanc. The Percussion Ensemble at George Mason University plays a vital role in the development of their percussion majors. Along with 2 major performances each academic year, the ensemble performs a number of other events. Here to tell us more about the Percussion Ensemble is Professor John Kilkenny. Welcome, John. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks so much. Great to be here.
So right at the beginning, can you tell us about music in general at George Mason?
Sure. We have an extraordinary amount of things going on in the School of Music at George Mason. It's actually hard to keep track of so much that's happening. We've opened several new buildings, we've added several new majors, we have a great music technology program, and we have a huge community outreach program that's called the Potomac Arts Academy.
Awesome.
That reaches young people, adults, high school students, seniors, and music and dance and theater and visual art. It's a great thing. So there's quite a bit going on in the School of Music.
Wow. And you had the Percussion Ensemble.
I do, that's right.
Directly. So tell us about that.
Well, we started, the Percussion Ensemble existed at Mason for a while, but we really started to grow in the last few years, and we've added several groups in addition to the sort of traditional percussion ensemble. We have a steel pan group, we have an Afro-Cuban ensemble, we have a hand drum ensemble. Yeah, it's a whole array of things. So it is a ton of different things for our majors to do while they're there.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been directing the ensemble at Mason?
I've been there for 7 years now, since 2008.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then besides directing, you're also a professor, correct? So what are some of the classes that you teach?
Well, I teach private percussion instruction, so I have private students. I run the Percussion Ensemble, which is actually class. I also, this year, I've started conducting one of our bands. I'm director of the symphonic band, so I'm teaching that class. I've taught intro to classical music, percussion pedagogy, percussion techniques, lots of different things, and I do some administrative stuff with the school as well.
Awesome. So what are some of your other faculty like at Mason? What makes Mason so special and draws a lot of faculty for music there?
Sure. Well, the great thing about Mason is where we're located. You know, we have access to a huge array of performers. In addition to those of us that are full-time, we have faculty members who are members of the National Symphony, the Washington Opera, all the different military bands. In the percussion area, we have Ken Harbison, who's our he's the associate principal percussionist of the National Symphony, and John Spiritus and Jonathan Rance, who are principal percussion and timpanist in the Washington Opera, respectively. And then Joe McCarthy, who has the distinction of having won the last Latin Grammy Award that you could win. He does all our Afro-Cuban and drum set work there. Yeah. So it's an active performing faculty in addition to, you know, their teaching roles at the school.
That seems like a great resource for the students to have professors who are really good at their job and performing as well as teaching.
Yeah, you know, we talk about this a lot, that you wouldn't go study computer programming with someone that hasn't touched a computer in 20 years, you know, and so we really like to emphasize that our students can be in a lesson, they could work with a faculty member, and then they can go watch that faculty member perform at the Kennedy Center, at Constitution Hall that night, wherever it happens to be, putting into place what they've been working on in the studio during the day with a student. It's a really great opportunity for our students to have. Awesome.
So for our viewers who aren't familiar with percussion instruments, what's a typical percussion ensemble concert like?
Well, ours are a typical concert should be, if they're doing it the right way, a diverse program. So you know, percussion is anything that can be hit, struck, strummed to make a sound. So at any rate, for a typical percussion concert at Mason, we have just an array of things happening, particularly the one coming up later on this semester. So our steel pan group will be performing, our Afro-Cuban ensemble, our hand drum ensemble, and then a more traditional, non-conducted sort of chamber, if you think chamber music, so string quartets, percussion quartets, string trios, percussion trios, that kind of music. So anything from, you know, more pop-orientated things to really pretty hard-hitting contemporary stuff.
Okay, so pretty diverse.
Very diverse, yeah, absolutely.
You know, performances. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your alumni? What do students do after they graduate with music?
It's like one of the parents. We ask that question all the time. We have students doing everything from working in recording studios to performing with military bands. Several of our percussion alumni play in different what are called service bands throughout the U.S. We have folks that play in major orchestras. One of our percussion alumni graduated a few years ago as an extra player with the New York Philharmonic, with the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. So it's a whole array of things. We also have a very strong music ed program, music education program. So our area schools are filled with music teachers that graduated from George Mason as well.
Yeah, I do know a music teacher at an elementary school.
Oh, cool.
Who graduated from the music ed program. She has great things to say about it.
We're really proud of our education program and the extraordinarily high placement rate we have for our students who graduate from that program.
Yeah. So I heard that there's a great story about the Percussion Ensemble's current studio that y'all use. Can you tell us what's so special about it?
Sure. Well, it's a bit of a long story. I'll be brief with it. So when we opened our new Dulaski Performing Arts building, which is the whole new music wing that opened in 2009, it came with this beautiful percussion studio, which we'd been sort of dying for a long time. We had not a lot of space. So we identified a friend of mine, a former mentor. His name was Fred Begun. Fred was the timpanist of the National Symphony for 48 years.
Oh,
Fred
wow.
was sort of a legendary player, real character, character. At any rate, so in conversations with Fred and then subsequently with Fred's family, they donated his entire library of scores and parts to Mason for our students to have access to all his method books and parts from his years in the orchestra. He's also a great writer, so all of his writings came with that as well. With that came a scholarship program, and we named the studio for Freddie. And both Fred and his family, his daughters Julie and Rosalie Begun, have continued to support the program, and over the next several years we'll be continuing to support our scholarship program and also allow us to do some really creative initiatives, tours, recording projects, things like that. So the percussion studio is actually the Fred Begun Percussion Suite. And yeah, it's
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's great,
that,
and they're wonderful folks, and we're grateful to them and to all of the donors with the program that have helped to continue the legacy that Fred started for us.
Aw, that's awesome. So just in the last few moments that we have, are there any performances coming up that you really want to tell us about?
Yes, there's a great concert coming up. Our percussion ensemble is playing April 1st at George Mason. We'll be in the Dulaski Performing Arts building. It's room 3001, which is, we got to have a better name for that, but room 3001 is where we're playing. And the concert's free. It's at 8 o'clock on April 1st, and it'll feature all of our students, some of our faculty, and we'd love for lots of folks to be there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John, for being here. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
To learn more about the George Mason University Percussion Ensemble and their performances, visit music.gmu.edu. I'm Angelique LeBlanc. Thanks for watching Nova Now.